Met Matt and Andrew several years ago. Just really awesome guys as far as giving the information, really making the industry better. They care about the contractors. They care about, really how the whole process works. And then they're very honest as far as when we have a claim, to give us their honest opinion as far as whether or not we want to pursue that or not. And then once they, receive that claim, they really do a great job at following up with the homeowners, making sure that they're representing our company, because at the end of the day, our client is trusting us to put them in touch with the best in the industry.
Nice.
Okay, I think they can hear us now. All right, so what's up, everybody? If you haven't noticed, that this is the weather team happy hour, and there's a handful more people here this time. So I guess I'll just do a quick little intro, and the comment should pop up in the corner of the screen where it says Zoom, just below Andrea. She's our newest meteorologist here. So everyone say hi to Andrea, whoever's watching. We also got Steve Barbas. He's down bottom center of the Brady Bunch here. He is another meteorologist on staff. He goes chasing pretty often. We got Heather and Frank. They were here last time. We got myself, even though I'm labeled as Derek Klein, and I didn't change that, but that's fine. And then we actually have Derek. You all know who he is. He's in the Brady Bunch setup here. He's Alice, right? Yeah. And then we got Kirk McCluckey from C3 Group. He's I guess we can just jump start with that, seeing how we get the first guest here on these happy hours. I don't know how these are all going to roll, if we're going to keep doing this, have guests and stuff. But Kirk, you take the reins here. I'm going to mute everybody else, and you just kind of introduce yourself, introduce what you do with C3 Group, and we'll go from there.
Right on. Thanks, John. I'm Kirk, the engineer on staff with C3 Group, and my primary job is to validate claims. I provide engineering assistance, but maybe some of you know, maybe some of you don't know, C3 stands for Claims, Construction, and Consulting. And I work predominantly on the construction and consulting side, do a lot with Andrew and Matt, and my full-time job, again, is to validate these claims, to author reports, and to help out our staff.
Cool. Yeah. So basically how this all came together is within Hail Trace, I will do a little weather teaching class for everyone else on staff who isn't a meteorologist. And I was getting asked questions pretty frequently about things that I didn't know the answers to. I know, like, and here myself and everyone else here, other than Kirk, are all pretty well versed in the world of weather. But once the hail gets to the surface and it impacts the roofs and whatever they're made of, that's where my knowledge stops. I don't know, what takes the damage and residential and commercial, what different types of material. I have no idea about any of that. I just say, hey, it was tennis balls for like 10 minutes. So with that, we brought you in and figured might as well ask you some questions. This is related to weather. You got the hail, and then what's the hail gonna do? So we actually had a team meeting earlier today. We had a bunch of cool questions. I figured we're gonna go ahead and share these questions with you, and everybody else can jump in if you're watching us here. If you want to have questions for Kirk, questions for any of us here within the Hail Meteorology team, feel free to ask them. And I can see the chat. It'll show up on the screen. And I also have my phone here with the Hail Trace Facebook page open. So if I miss the question, I should be able to see it after the fact. And if you ask through YouTube or Periscope, it'll show up on the screen as well. So I guess the first thing that I'll ask is, so with C3 Group, you guys are typically commercial. So I guess we can just kind of start off with that. Why do you guys focus more on commercial versus residential? And maybe go into a little more of like, what do you look for a good hailstorm within those commercial properties? What are, size, density, time, the basic parameters, I guess, that you would see, if any, for a hailstorm.
Well, I think I can't speak for all of C3, but what comes across my desk, John, is mostly we focus on commercial because it's quality than quantity. I think we would rather do a large HOA and try to focus our efforts on that than try to do the residential type of homes. And again, I'm not very fluid on that, but I do know that that's how we started. That's how we all started, was doing residential roofs. So we know those systems, but we also know commercial as well. And we also know that a lot of those people struggle just as much as residential, but we just kind of seem to gravitate toward commercial. And a lot of those commercial properties, whether they're HOAs or a commercial warehouse, we just completely understand those roof systems. Like on a commercial property, those membrane roofs, we just know what hail damage looks like to those properties and to those roof systems. And on large commercial or large HOAs, the tile roofs, whether it's asphalt shingle or clay tile, we understand what hail damage looks like to those too. So that's been our area of expertise the last few years, and that's what we keep rolling with.
Yeah, I mean, we see it pretty often. So here at Hail Trace, the biggest, other than me plugging C3 Group every single day, and you see that little ad and everything, the main relationship between C3 Group and Hail Trace is Kirk primarily is the one that will send us here at Hail Trace reports to do for site-specific addresses. So basically, we get the report saying, hey, this is what we got, this is the date range of the specific date. Can you guys look deeper into the potential that there was actually weather here before you keep moving forward? So I guess just tell us more about the process on how it takes to get the report request to us, so you guys get the, whatever it needs to be, you're looking into the address and then going from there.
Sure. One of the first things that we do, John, is we have to validate the claim. It's one thing for us to get a lead, but I think we can do a lot of that vetting behind our computer monitors or at our desk. And one thing when we get a large commercial loss is I'll get the full and complete address and we'll send it off to you. Depending upon which state it's in or what we're trying to look at, we need credible weather data to support. If somebody's telling us, and we hear this all too often, this place is smoked, it's a slam dunk for you, and we need your help. We just need credible weather data. And when we send off that request to you, we just need certain parameters, and we're looking for the date of loss, and we're also looking for the size of hail. It's very simple and very rudimentary to say that if you had small size hail and that type of roof system, maybe we're not going to find the damage that somebody else is seeing. But when we have substantially large hail and we know what kind of roof system is on that property, we know that, hey, we could probably focus our efforts, do a site visit, meet with the contractor, the lead source, and get to work adjusting this claim. But every time I reach out to you guys, we're always building our file like it's going to go to litigation. And so the first step in vetting any property is just to get weather data. I hate to say that, and I know it sounds so cliche working with hail trace, but it's the truth. We got to have this weather data. And the only thing that trumps your weather data is on-site collateral indicators. We talked earlier before about splash marks like on light poles or on oxidized surfaces. You know, even before we want to go see those splash marks, we kind of want to run it through your vetting process just to make sure that there is credible weather data, you know, during these parameters, and just make sure that before we go out there, we know what we can expect to find through your report, of course.
Yeah, so I think that one big question I know, because we share hail pictures constantly on Hail Trace and within our maps and everything. So are you able to tell with spiky hail? I think Derek's got the hailstone. We have a 3D printed hailstone from the record hailstone, and it's got a bunch of spikes on it.
Oh, yes.
You know,
Vivian South.
there it is. Yeah. So can you tell if they got the spikes?
You know,
Eric's unmuted, so you can actually talk.
You know, can we tell about spiky hail if it hit a property? If that's your question, John,
Yeah.
Yes, you can see the nodules, you know, depending upon what type of roofing material we're looking at. Like if it's polyiso insulation, yeah, we can see all those little nodules and undulations on it. You know, typically if it's round, it'll look more circular, more concentric, you know, in its fracture pattern. That's a nice 3D printed model. Can we get one of those too, Derek?
Yeah, I got one if you want one. It's pretty sweet. This is the United States record hailstone from Vivian, South Dakota. I think it was what, 8 inches across?
Something like that. Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty damn big.
And it's actually to the exact weight as well. So this is
That's
how
heavy.
you can't tell obviously from the video how heavy it is, but it's fairly heavy. You think this would have done any damage?
For sure.
Okay.
Eh,
Wonder if anybody will
So,
try.
I'm not sure. I'm
Done.
not entirely sure if that
Common
would
Alabama
cause
damage.
any damage.
It was soft hail. It was soft.
Yeah.
it
So
was-
before we move forward, I'm already seeing a couple questions in the comments here asking about Texas's chances tomorrow. I'll just throw it out there. We will have the forecast video tomorrow. What I've been looking at looks about the same as what I was said today. So it's going to be upwards of, I'd say the maximum hail size potential right now would be about 2 inches. And that would include places like Dallas, Austin, San Antonio. And that's pretty much all the details I got right now. We'll have obviously a full breakdown for that tomorrow at 12 o'clock.
I'll just
So-
share something with you guys here real quick,
Yeah.
because this is extremely important that everybody sees this. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this right here. Look at that, Dallas.
Yeah.
Oh, good. You got it loaded up. Yeah.
We all know that the convection allowing models are 100% right every time, right?
It
Yeah,
shows
if you tuned
Dallas
in for
getting
last
it. I
week.
mean, it's gonna happen. Probably
Yeah,
something
no,
like this.
honestly though, so that just shows the potential for tomorrow. Obviously, don't take this with a 100% accuracy or anything, but that is what we're looking into.
I'd say go get some
Full
stimulus
forecast.
money for your business, because you're gonna need the cash
Yeah.
flow tomorrow in
There's a
Dallas.
chance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Dallas seems to always manage to get a storm, even when there's the tiniest iota of a chance. So,
Or not at all.
Specifically, this looks like it's gonna hit somewhere near probably Frisco, maybe a little further south, maybe Flower Branch, maybe
Flower Mound, you mean?
Flower Mound. Yeah, that's it.
That's where the money's at.
Farmers Branch is the other one.
Farmers Branch. I
It's the
mixed
same
two of
like
them
7
together.
towns that get hit every year. Yeah.
Kirk, what do you think?
um,
Kirk's a storm chaser.
yeah.
You see the model?
Yeah.
Where you going? You going all in on this tomorrow?
No, unfortunately, my team has not been assembled yet. So no, Matt and I are excited to start chasing, falling behind you, Derek.
That's right.
I don't know if you've seen the tags, but his name's not Derek anymore. It's Allison. So
Yep. I
Some
changed it to
Allison.
Allison. John said I was
Allison.
Allison in the deal, so I changed it to that.
Yeah, I changed mine to actual my name, so I'm not Derek anymore.
Me neither.
I remembered that Zoom can actually change that. So
Hey Kirk, so you went storm chasing
Yeah.
last
Oh, that
year.
just goes.
You went one time on your own, right?
No, I've always been with either Matt. No, I've always gone with Matt or with you.
Well, I mean, but not without a
but
meteorologist.
without us,
You went with
Yeah,
Matt. And
Matt and I
I-
punched that 3-inch hail core.
I was
And
gonna say you guys got better hail than I got last year. So
I'll never forget this, Matt. We came to a T in the road, and Matt says if we go left, it's 4-inch, and if we go right, it's 3-inch. Obviously, the owner of my truck, I went with the 3-inch hail, and we found every bit of 3-inch. Never forget, Matt wanted to jump out and get that hailstone, and he got pelted a couple times. But we got the picture, we got the money shot. I've never been in 3-inch hail, and that just sounds like Armageddon being unleashed. It hurt. It just
were you guys out on the day that the record hailstone fell in Colorado last year, or was that a different day? It hailed so much in Colorado last year; it's like hard to keep track of all the dates.
Yeah, you know what? I don't remember the exact date on it, John, but it's one of those things as you guys know, there's always that one storm you'll never forget. It's that storm that Matt and I punched that hail core in, and that was unimaginable.
See, we have a question from Robert that says, "Why are insurance companies pulling away from brittle testing?"
It's all you, Kirk.
Question, Robert. You know, brittleness test, it's one of those things where it comes down to repairability. And I think it's a lot. I really don't know how to answer that question from my perspective. It just goes to show you, can this roof be repaired or not? And I don't know if there's a specific way to do a brittleness test, especially on what type of roofs, but it just comes down to, can you repair it or not? It's a good question. It's a really good question. I think it invokes a further discussion for sure.
Does that relate anything to like old damage and new damage? This is coming from someone who doesn't know anything about any of this.
Old damage versus new damage has always been a thorn in our side. Again, with your reports, we can tell storm direction, trajectory, hail size, and you can kind of hone in on which storm caused what damage. Brittleness test, it's a good question. I don't really know exactly how to answer it from my perspective, and I wish it would be incorporated a little bit more. I think it's a good discussion point to say, can we repair this roof, or does it have to warrant full roof replacement? It's a good test.
Nice. So when you're up on the roof, you're checking things out, are you just looking for that 1 10x10 square spot, or like the test square, or what is it, your process when you get up on those commercial roofs?
Well, usually when we go up on a commercial roof, we try to do it with the other engineer or maybe the insurance adjuster. And what our ultimate goal is to quantify the amount of hail damage that we're seeing, and to show them exactly, put our finger on it. This is what we feel is hail damage. And like we always say, either call us out on it, say we're full of it, and tell us why this isn't hail damage, or maybe you can agree with us that it's possible that this is hail damage and this is the data loss. A 10x10 square just really quantifies the amount of hail damage that's up on a roof surface. We like that because once you take a photograph of that 10x10, and whether you're putting in a report or you're trying to justify your opinions, that photograph, once you circulate it via email or even in a report, it's impactful. It really shows what's going on up on that roof.
So I'm gonna completely shift gears for a second here. Have you had a chance to see any videos from the Jonesboro, Arkansas tornado from over the weekend? So
Yeah.
here at Hail Trace. We do wind and tornadoes now, and that gives us a pretty good excuse to watch tornado videos all the time. So, but there's a couple of pretty impressive videos that came up online on Saturday, and seeing how we actually have like an engineer here, and I just kind of want to pick your brain a little bit of how these tornadoes just like impact these locations, and maybe just show some fun videos. So let me just switch it over to this one right here. This video has gone around quite a bit within the internet.
Have you seen
And
the one?
I don't know if the audio is actually going to play.
No audio.
What do you say, Derek?
Have you seen the one in the car dealership?
Yeah, I have it loaded up.
Oh, sweet.
I got like 3 of them.
Oh,
So here's a tornado.
Oh,
So how strong do you think this wind is here, Kirk? It's going to hit some crap in a second.
Airborne debris, you guys tell me, at least 80 to 100?
I'm gonna go with 150.
A little more than that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 150 to 170. How about that?
Jeez.
I want to say 140 to 160 just to be different.
I like it.
Probably do 130.
If I'm being exact, I'm gonna say 157.3 miles an hour. Max wind speed.
It doesn't take much. The
Right.
difference is you got vertical velocities in tornadoes too. So you got that upward force that can rip stuff up with
vacuum.
lower wind speeds. So
Well, you like roll this back too. Like, look at how much it messed up the sign. Just the
Oh, yeah.
inflow.
sure,
Yeah. That's the inflow.
certainly.
Yeah.
What was
So
this rated?
the
This is only- this
National
is
Weather
only-
Service. So last time I checked, it was an EF3.
I'm surprised on that. Should have been, but
It,
they know what
but
they're doing.
I haven't actually taken the time to like look. Have you like do you know anybody, Kirk, who goes and does like the surveys, or like have you guys ever had to really deal with the tornado damage, or is you guys pretty much just hail?
No, John, to simplify your question, we rely on experts to tell us what you feel was that wind speed. I know that there's, collateral indicators will justify certain size branches down, will justify this amount of wind speed. But again, we rely upon you and your information to tell us what you feel was that wind speed. And that's how we form our opinions.
Oh,
this
nice.
was
Yeah.
awesome.
So
Yeah.
yeah, this one. So this was a super violent tornado, and it was moving really fast too. And what?
I feel like you have to
in this
raise your
video
hand on
here-
this one when you would go inside.
Yeah, yeah.
When would you go inside?
So this guy is
I think I could have lasted as long as him, as long as I knew where I was going to go when I went inside.
I haven't seen this video.
Yeah, well, here we go. It also shows how
Yeah.
fast it forms too.
Yeah, the tornado was moving fast too.
Well, it's not moving
filming
side to side.
He's filming from the other side of that other tornado. Watch, because you'll see that roof come off that in that last video. Watch, you'll see the roof come off in just a second. Not yet.
Yep.
It's getting ready to happen. You see like all the
It's gonna be like right here. There
Yep,
it
there it
goes.
goes.
Yeah.
Look at it, tossing that. All kinds of crap.
I'm still outside. I'm good with being outside right now.
Yeah.
Still outside.
I'm probably not going inside until the inflow gets so strong where you start thinking that a sign might come down or around you or something like that.
He starts getting all this shit up over him. Like you can see it. Like
Good, I don't want a roof to land on me.
Unreal.
Isn't that crazy?
That's pretty good. Mm.
it's so
look
close.
at-
Okay,
He's very close.
all right.
Like I'm out.
He's in a building basically made of glass.
Yeah.
Glass doesn't
Language
hurt your
warning,
eyes, at
by the
least.
way.
Not
This is like a
going.
raw
I was
video.
watching that David guy, that musician guy last night. He was on TV and he was eating glass, so I'm sure that's
Oh,
probably
David
fine.
Blaine. Yeah, that's his favorite thing.
David
Besides
Blaine,
throwing
yeah.
up frogs.
Yeah, so I can do that too.
Oh. Damn, man. I was
Is there
hoping
anything
to
else
see
exciting
cars
on
getting
here?
thrown in this video.
That would have made it a lot better if there would
Yeah,
have
would
been
have
cars
taken
thrown.
some of those cars and thrown them.
God.
The one that I saw didn't keep going like this. I thought he was already done.
Yeah, this is like the guy. I found the guy's video.
Oh, nice.
Impressive.
John's like, I'm gonna go to his Facebook page. Can
Yeah.
somebody message him and tell him the next time he's close to a tornado to hold his phone straight up and down so we don't have to get that like weird?
Landscape.
That and like it gets like really headache inducing at the end where he wasn't paying any attention. Yeah, so that's a couple of the tornado videos here. I got one other one I'll share in a little bit, and that's just the in over his head meteorologist for Jonesboro doing the thing that when I was looking for TV jobs was sort of terrified of, a violent tornado just happening on a live stream, and you're just kind of going, well, this isn't good.
Should show the video of this tornado behind me.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can go find.
Best
I can
tornado
go find
ever.
all. You can go down a whole rabbit
Bert,
hole.
do you
of
know who that
tornado
guy is in
videos.
that picture?
8 o'clock.
Bradley, I do, but I'm more surprised if you watched the series, Derek.
You watched it?
I said, did you watch it?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he lived like an
Yeah, I
hour
did.
from me, so I figured I had to watch it.
Do you think he's guilty or innocent?
Ooh, now we're getting into the juicy stuff. Guilty of what? That's a good question. I don't think that he paid to kill her.
So you think he was set up?
Yes.
Okay.
I hope Joe Lowe is not watching this video though, because I feel like I could be in some trouble now.
I will say this, I am looking forward to season 2 though.
You're looking for what?
Looking forward to season 2.
They're doing a second
Yeah, I heard they're gonna do a season 2. I'm
season of that.
I haven't watched it. I feel
I
like
haven't watched any of it either.
gain all
And
the
I'm just
information
like,
I need to just from looking at memes. So
Yeah, we live in Oklahoma. I read Lost Ogle articles, and then when I'm assuming the end of the season happened, it was just on the news. And I was like, wow, all right, this is a real weird niche of Oklahoman person I didn't know existed.
It's all the other people too that exist. That's what's crazy. And then that meme that's going around that's like, I didn't know I could buy a tiger for $2,000. When that came up, I literally looked at Leah and was like, you can buy a tiger for $2,000? I was like shocked. But I was literally like right when this video this picture behind me, me and Heather were like right around the corner, like right there chasing that tornado. I was like, I didn't know he was right there.
yeah, that was a good day.
Good
That
old
was a really
Linwood,
good
May 9, 2016.
Mm-hmm.
May 9th, yep, May 9th,
2016. Yes, it is.
2016. That one was an EF4. It
Sure
killed
was.
either 1 or 2 people.
2.
I'm just looking to see if we got questions in here. Somebody says, strong question that I feel people are not talking about is Allstate strongly denied claims. From Robert.
Hmm.
Oh, wait. I think there's a conversation going on
It would be.
within comments.
The thing.
What are the new numbers
Yeah.
on the maps?
Yeah, I don't know what Mike's talking about.
Mike, clarify your question. I don't know what you're asking.
What number is talking here? Okay, so another wind related question that's beyond just showing off our. Oh wait, hang on. I'll actually answer this because it's still wind related, and I'm about to ask a hurricane question. Somebody said thoughts on CSU's tropical predictions. So, for those watching, don't know what that means. The Colorado State University is one of the leading sources of hurricane predictions every single year, and they release their forecast today, like they typically do right at the beginning of April. And they are going in pretty hard on hurricane season this year. They're predicting 4 major hurricanes.
Cool.
That was the only number I remembered because that's the one I cared about. The other ones are also very high. They're expecting a very active year. So I made my first
With our
real guess at doing a hurricane forecast this year for the Highway to Hail tour in specifically just Orlando, but we didn't actually put it out to everybody. So if you went to the Orlando show, you got to see our hurricane forecast, and that was really it. So I guess my thoughts are my forecast was almost the exact numbers that Colorado State University said. So hold on to your butts, I guess, for this summer. We might be in for a pretty bumpy ride.
Hey, Kirk, I think you said you wanted to go chase a hurricane too, right?
Yeah, I think after your little venture last year, I can't help but say I think I could intercept one
Yeah. Oh, it's fun.
and do it
Might be.
safely,
Nope.
obviously.
Well,
Just
yeah.
who's watching.
Do it.
I sure do love
Do it.
hurricane chasing.
Mm-mm.
Nothing wrong with it.
I have an excuse. She's covered in black fur.
Oh, your cat will take your cat along.
There we go.
Yeah,
Read-
cat would like a hurricane.
Really coming
Yeah.
back to Oklahoma in one piece.
Whee. It's funny how it does them
Yeah, so-
backwards.
Yeah, you have to like unmirror it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I would
you
need
always
like
flip it the other
actual
way.
anchors tied to my feet.
Yeah. So in our video, so I think even before we did this, our intro video has some footage from Hurricane Florence. The one that's the background on Derek's from Michael. That
Yeah.
one was just ripped everything to shreds. But from Florence, we were in the eye wall in downtown Wilmington, and our video shot out from a balcony over all the buildings, and we were up high enough where we saw a lot of the roofs. So we saw the wind getting up, I guess, up under some of the material on the roof, and it caused it to like ripple and everything. So what would cause that? We've had about 100-ish mile per hour winds for a while. What's going to cause the roofing material to kind of like, we could see like the waves of like the wind getting under it, and does that total the roof?
We'd probably assume that was a mechanically attached type of membrane up on that roof. And it was just quite simply the building pressurizing and wind getting up into the building and going up and underneath the roof system. And that's what could be causing that rippling effect. There could be a lot of reasons why that took place. It could be entering through the sidewall and entering through a parapet and getting up underneath the membrane and traversing across the surface. It could be suction. The more I think about it, kind of lifting it up and rolling it across. But it's a good phenomenon to see. If you ever get a chance to see that again, please videotape it. That would be good data points for us.
I
The
put it in here.
consequences is once
Yeah,
that
that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to find it.
gets distorted, it could start ripping fasteners and attachment points, and that roof system will start to fail prematurely.
Yeah, so I'm hoping I can find the video right now.
Hang on, I got it.
You got it?
Hmm. But I couldn't get it to do my background, so I'm just going to share my screen. Wah, wah.
Wah, wah.
There we go.
Yeah, there it is.
Mm.
Is that sheets of water?
Yeah, that's rain.
Obviously decided not to stand very still with the camera. I'm like, oh, let's look at the roof, and then I don't.
It's kind of hard to see through the rain sheets, but there's like little ripples underneath the material.
Yeah, it was hard to differentiate between maybe rain, making a wave across the surface, or if that was the membrane actually rippling up across it. Holy cow.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. I'd like to be in that.
Yeah. John, that was kind of our first like 100+ mile an hour winds in a hurricane, right? Was Florence?
Yeah, because we never got like a true reading on Harvey,
Yeah.
and
I
we weren't in the eye wall on that one.
I think we thought Harvey was 100 until we were in this one and we got a reading. And then I think we realized it was probably like 80 or 90.
Yeah. Like I think Harvey had more consistently strong winds for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
Because like I felt like Florence didn't really ramp up until like late at night and into the morning, but like Harvey, it was like really strong winds all the way till we were all so tired. We're like, yeah, screw this. I'm just gonna go to bed. I get it.
Yeah. I think it was just cool though to see like the difference in like the wind speeds. Like at 100 from 80, it's just so much different. And then, you know, Michael, we think we're probably 130. So 100 to 130 was even crazier.
Yeah, Michael was insane. That was, yeah. I really wish we could have found that GoPro that we lost.
I know. I still think somebody stole that. I think that one of those camera guys in there stole it.
I mean, I think it fell off, but somebody probably found it and took it.
I don't know. The parking garage was all flooded, so it fell down in the water, and then we couldn't find it in the water. But I just find it hard to believe that it would have floated.
Well, we had it attached to like an iron gate thing in the bottom of the parking garage, and then once the wind started to die down, we went down there to go get it, and in front of the iron gate there was a metal roof sitting there, and the GoPro was gone. So
Yep.
the theory is that roof flew into the gate, and knocked the GoPro off.
The thing hit the thing and knocked it off.
Yep.
Man. Thing hit this thing. Okay.
So, yeah. So hopefully storm chasing comes soon. I'm ready.
We're ready.
Yeah, so I mean, if you guys saw the video
Yes,
on
people
Saturday, we kind of did like a preview showing off that now we're able to, while I'm live, cut to if Derek's chasing the chase, so we can simultaneously do live coverage and also share the storm chasing. So if you know, we have previous videos where we're driving around for half an hour and we're like, no, it's coming, we can just kill the audio and just have something else going on while that's happening. Jump in when it's crazy. I mean, we can bring in some of your chases there, Kirk.
We would love to. We'll love to be a part of it in 2020. We need the distraction.
We do. Speaking of distractions, I got another tornado video here. This one I don't think Derek has seen.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
No.
Wow, that sounds exciting. Is this our video? Oh,
Mm-mm.
no. Who's this?
Oh, there's no
I
sound.
think it's in like Canada or something.
Hey,
There's sound.
There's no sound. We don't have
Canada.
sound.
that's all right. There's no movement either. I think it's looking. The rotation has stopped clearly.
Oh, hang on. I didn't share the sound.
That was
That
a
was
90
crazy.
mile an hour inflow jet that we were hit with. And I think
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
pulling corn stalks out of my engine compartment.
Yeah, that was fun.
When you see the
Yep.
tornado intercept vehicle show up where you're at, it behooves you to go the other direction.
Eh.
Oh,
Just get
Okay.
closer.
So, does this have audio?
I don't know.
Somebody call David, 8183, tell him the tornado's right over his house.
Over T? Lesty's right?
Yes.
Yeah, I seen that. Look up.
Oh no. Oh, there it is. Just took a second.
We back.
Shut up, Frank.
What's gonna happen is we're gonna be on a chase and we're gonna be all serious and then all of a sudden we're gonna have the two-way radios in our car with Matt and Kirk following us, and I'm gonna hear Kirk doing that in the car out of nowhere. just to make us laugh.
And then I'll be
Let's hope we're put in that position.
and then I'll be in the other car. I'm like, oh, stop it. Stop it.
We
Did
should,
anybody see Heather's?
do you guys know in Colorado how strict they are about their shelter in place? Are they counting storm chasers as essential service or no?
Well, I'll be honest with you, John. I don't have the answer to that question. My wife and I are kind of taking this seriously, so we're just staying put until, somebody else tells us otherwise. I don't know what's essential at this point. I just know that we're staying put. So I think that and also be brutally honest, I think that if a tornado or an enhanced area becomes available and it'll get me out of the house, I'll probably go chase it too. So as long as you can do it safely.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty easy to socially
load up,
distance
like, on
yourself
Snapchat.
when you're storm chasing.
Yeah, alone in your car.
Bring some gloves and some sanitizer so when you get gas, you can clean your hands off.
Maybe
Yeah.
some lacrosse gear. Or
Yes.
motocross gear.
Yeah, I got some.
Your motorcycle gear that you
Got some for running
live for
around.
hail.
Oh my gosh.
And I
Helmet
hope,
and everything.
I really hope
Looks
that
like a
video
ninja,
actually showed
Andrea,
up on
when he
our
puts all that
live
stuff
stream,
on.
but I feel like it didn't.
What?
He looks like a ninja when he puts all he has like
I have a
a
picture.
helmet and like gloves and like protecting
You think
stuff.
the helmet would stand
It's
up
like-
to one of these?
Probably not.
No, it would crack your helmet and like would kill you.
Die.
Thank you. You'll probably go into a coma for
Nah, you'd probably be okay.
like a year.
You might get a concussion though.
Test it, find out.
No, I think it would crack the helmet.
I feel like, well, you could crack the helmet and still be all right.
It
I
would
feel like it would be worth
cause
it. if you
some
got hit with this.
major collateral damage to
If
the
you got
brain.
if it stayed in one piece and you got to take it with you, it'd be worth a concussion.
Yeah, you get a story.
Pretty big. It's almost as big as your head.
It really
Probably
is.
snap your head sideways and you'd be like, oh, my neck.
Yeah. What do you think the terminal velocity is for
Yeah,
that?
that thing at like,
How-
almost 120
I
miles
think
an
on
hour.
the
or
bottom
whatever.
of it's like perfectly round.
Yeah. I mean, maybe even faster than that. I think. I don't remember if it's
Just kinda
miles per
falling
hour.
like that, like it just stayed
not.
like that, or you think it was tumbling a lot?
Well, you'd have to know the exact weight to get the terminal velocity.
Yeah.
It's almost 2 pounds.
Yeah, we have the exact weight of it.
It was like 1.92 pounds, I think, was the weight of this hailstone.
Actually, I
Crazy.
may have actually listed it in the paper.
It's just cool how it's like almost like winged out, like it just fell because we think it like falls like tumbled, right? But I bet this one was just falling like this, like a torpedo.
Meow. Bye bye, cow.
All right, did we have? Oh, I'm bringing us slightly back on track with like questions that we had. So with everything, so with the hurricanes, tornadoes, all the crazy wind stuff, does the duration of wind, is it important for any sort of inspection or possible damage with wind on commercial properties?
The duration is kind of a secondary kind of data point. First of all, we want to know like the mile per hour, what actually impacted that area. The duration would help us say, if fasteners started to become loose, like harmonics and vibration, that's where the duration would help us out substantially. Again, just based on my experience and work with C3, it's just nice to know from a credible source what mile an hour impacted this property or this region, and then we can kind of dive into it a little bit deeper.
Yeah. So all of our wind maps, they have the duration on there. You're gonna notice a lot of them are 1 minute. They're likely less than that because thunderstorm is a little more gusty than a hurricane, which is more consistent. And obviously, a tornado like the Jonesboro one. I mean, I have a video of the live coverage of it, and it all taken from tower cams, and the video is 6.5 minutes long, and that was the time it took to go from formation to out of Jonesboro. It was hauling.
It moves quick.
It was that was crazy. Of course, the fun video I posted is when the live stream decided to cut out because my streaming platform decided to quit on me.
So, Kirk, do you have any questions for us?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if I have any questions for you guys. You guys do exactly what I need you to do. It's just another data point. If you can imagine, I have a bunch of check mark boxes, you know, or boxes to check right on my desk. In order to vet this property, it's got to pass the smell test. And one of the biggest things is credible weather data. I see so many opposing engineers and insurance adjusters, you know, other unreliable sources of weather data, and it's all over the place. It says 4-inch hail hit at this property on this date, when you know that's not really realistic. But when you get a weather report from a meteorologist, I mean, that really carries a lot of weight. So my only question to you guys is not really a question, but it's just a comment. Keep doing what you're doing. Just because the client is asking you to do something, you know, don't overinflate it. Don't say that you think we want 4-inch hail to be there because it was reported there. Just tell us exactly what it was. It doesn't, you know, help out anybody other than the end user of your report. So my only question is just a comment, guys and ladies and everybody else. Please keep doing what you're doing. It's really working for our business model here at C3.
Cool. That's about as good a plug as any. Yeah, on that.
Yeah.
Right.
So you got plenty of ways to request impact reports here on Hail Trace. We got a semi-automated version. Then if you want one with meteorologists, you can message us through intercom. You can email us. I don't recommend messaging Derek directly on Facebook with that. You might not get back to us right away. But emailing weather@hailtrace.com with a request for an impact report, that's good. That's a good way to go. Or on intercom, which is through our website. It's the little chat icon in the corner, bottom right-hand corner of the screen. More data that you give us, the easier it is for us. Kirk is the gold standard for giving us what we need to do what we have to do in an efficient manner.
You know, another comment that I have for you guys, John, is, you know, when we request a meteorological report from you, we make it a specific request to show the radar imagery. It's one thing for you guys to report the size of hail that may have fell on this date and a couple, you know, bulleted points underneath it. But when you show us radar imagery, that's really impactful. It's just a visual indicator of how that storm was over this property. You know, what color of the mosaic, you know, was it when it went over this property? And that just really speaks volumes. That really helps us determine, you know, where the property was in relation to that storm cell. And we know that, you know, if it traversed that property, we know that we're going to find hail damage there.
Yeah, and that's we do that as well. Put the radar images in. I think we got some things coming down the pipeline where I think that's going to be on like all the reports too, and not just by request.
Great.
So do you have anything to add? Anybody else on here?
I mean, I don't think, I mean.
Great comment about the radar imagery. Though I will say sometimes the radar imagery isn't like as useful as you want it to be. Say it was hit between frames, or sometimes there's cases where it just looks like trash on radar, and then, you know, there's still ping pong ball size hail falling, and you go, what? And those are fun cases.
Like,
to try to
how did that happen? Like, and it's like, okay, now we got to figure out how to word like
Do we have any?
How do we say that hail happened here when it shows this stuff and it, it isn't showing it like it usually does, but hey, it's still happening. That's when it gets interesting. You want to yell at Mother Nature, like, why? But I do gotta mention, like, with the if you've never done a report, like if you've never requested a report before anything, but you want to, address, of course, because we can't really do a search without an address. Duh. How far back you want us to look, that's really helpful. Year or 2 years, and we usually, like, if whatever duration we're given, we automatically go to the severe hail date. And so we do get people that are like, but how about the following year? And it's just like, but severe hail happened the year before. And so just so you know, if you give us like a 2-year duration, we usually go straight for the severe hail date. What else? I mean, those are the big one. Like, we can't read minds. So I mean, the more info that you give us about like how far we can go back, and if there's any kind of date gaps, like just insurance stuff that we need to know about, like don't look at, between these days, whatever, tell us, please. Just the more info of what you're looking for, the better, so that we can give you the best report that we, can give you, and that it's, accurate, and that is what you're looking for, so you can help your client out and get that claim approved if it did, of course, hail. And that's another thing too. If it didn't hail, we will not make a report. We will not. Yeah, I've heard, like, if a storm is like 5
They just need a day
miles
off.
north and you want us to tell you, oh, it's close enough. No, it's not going to happen. It's either, the address got hit, or sorry, it didn't, and we will be straight up with you. And we're really strict about that. But yeah, we're here to help you. But whatever info that you request and the info that we give you, we want to be as truthful as possible. We do not like to bend anything at all. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah,
Hey,
just
Frank.
adding, Drew put in the comments, always a good best practice to request wind and hail and storm history for minimum of the policy period covering your date of loss. And that's our biggest recommendation as well.
Yeah, you don't want to get too many dates for the insurance company to look at and then go, wait, well, I think it was this date actually, and that's outside of your policy period.
Yeah, and that can get confusing. But yeah, just.
And Frank, to kind of parallel what you said earlier about the radar imagery, what I like to do is go to the GIS NCDC NOAA.gov. And when you provide to me a radar imagery, I can actually stitch that back around. Once you give me that time frame, I'll go back and watch that cell traverse over that property. So back to what you were saying, John, earlier about the actual date of loss, you can find multiple storms that may have hit that property, but I'm looking for one that came from the south and from the west, and it came from this direction with 1.5 inches hail. And that's what separates, us from other people, is we can actually tell you this hail hit is from this date of loss. And that's why we kind of like to start with the radar imagery. If it wasn't even close to the property when you guys submitted in the report, we won't even do that.
Yep.
All right, so I think we probably should wrap it up pretty soon. Before we do that, I got one more video. It's a hail video, and it's not gonna be someone puking. So it's a legit video, and
Tell me what?
I'm curious to see, would you drive your truck in this one, Kurt? Hang on,
I would.
Just go ahead.
Ooh.
Doesn't even
I drive Kirk's truck into it.
You'll know exactly which one this is. Everyone that isn't Kurt.
If I'm gonna, oh my gosh, yep, got that one too. Can we find a place to pull under? because the next one's not gonna last. At least a tree. Oh my gosh, this is the biggest tail I've ever seen. Oh, and it's I'm covered in glass.
What do you want me to do?
There's nothing you can do, man. Pull up beside that building.
I want you to stay right here.
Is there any way anybody can tweet? We've lost our windshield. This is 5 to 6 inch size hail. I mean, it's bigger than softballs and grapefruits. I've never seen this big a hail in my life.
Warm, fuzzy feelings all over.
Oh my gosh. No, I need to tweet.
Well, to answer your question bluntly, John, no.
Oh, come on. It won't cause that much damage.
I mean, my truck's got a lot
We
of.
were right behind this storm.
It'll take a beating, but
Weird.
no, I wouldn't want to do that on purpose.
Yeah, I remember we were on this one, and I distinctly remember we were getting mad because the road we were on outside of Stephenville, Texas, there was like construction, so we were down to one lane. And of course, Derek was getting pissed. This one person who was going about 40 miles an hour. We're like, oh, come on, we can hit the storm. And we pulled up into Stephenville and just saw like the destruction. Like every tree was completely defoiled, and you're seeing like all the windows blown out of people's houses and like their vehicles all destroyed. And I'm like, God, just missed it.
Could have been in that.
Hey, Derek, are you getting a new truck this year for chasing?
I think so, yeah. I'm trying to figure out all this COVID stuff so I can go get some money for it. I mean, I get pay for one, but I'd rather a bank pay for it first. So we'll see. Yeah, but we're definitely the truck motor doesn't like to keep running consistently, so we got to find something different. So I haven't decided what we want to get though. I'm open to suggestions if anybody has any on what we should get.
Yeah.
Kirk, do you think we should get a Raptor like you have?
It's a beast, man. It's 13 miles of the gallon, but it'll take anything you can throw at it. Sure, go for it. It's a lot of fiberglass on it. It'll hold up well.
Oh man,
like 2 miles to the gallon better than the truck has right now.
Yeah.
I bet it doesn't get 13 when I put the parachute on top of it.
Parachute.
All right, well, thanks for joining in on our little shenanigans here. Kirk, thanks everybody watching, especially the people who came back after the video dropped out. Sorry about that. When I decided to put sound on, apparently Open Broadcaster said nope. So tune back next time. I don't know if you guys keep liking these, let us know. I mean, we can just kind of keep doing this over the course of however long COVID-19 decides to keep us all at home, at least through April 30th. So we can probably do a couple more of these, maybe kind of go over storms that happen, and got other questions, other things we have, want more guests, whatever it is, put in the comments below and let us know. Thanks again, Kirk, for joining us. You guys can check out C3 Group. We have them tagged in our videos every single day. I'll probably tag them in the description of this for the 2 videos that this is going to be afterwards. So, and thanks everybody else for